Okay, welcome back, everybody. So here we are with issue 2, and this is the issue 2 of building the Millennium Falcon. And this one is going to get into some stuff that um, starts getting my creative juices going, but at the same time my anxiety a little bit because of what I want to accomplish is a bit more than probably what my skill allows, but we're going to try it anyway. So one of the interesting things, I'll pull this up here a little bit. So, not that you can really read this, but this is the view out of a B-29 bomber. And so that's actually what the view of the canopy from the Millennium Falcon was actually modeled from. That was what George Lucas wanted to have the kind of look and feel. If you weren't aware, a lot of all of the attack scenes and that kind of stuff, where the TIE fighters were attacking them after they left the Death Star, all of that is basically shot for shot from some World War II footage where some Messerschmitts were attacking flying fortresses and they were defending them. So, yeah, it's almost shot for shot. So, that's kind of interesting. But again, we get a lot of different interesting details and that kind of stuff. And even talks about the wildlife on Hoth and all that kind of stuff. So um, pretty interesting. So here we are. This is what we have in this issue. So we get our gun turret, or our quad laser turret kind of top there. We're going to get our center console for our cockpit. A bunch of screws and stuff is going to be in here. Actually, we're only getting black screws this time, I believe. Yeah, so black screws, but this is telling us what the screws are. So this section here will be very handy to keep in mind. We get a couple more of the hull frames, and we get the Djarek table. Um, Dajerik, Dejarik. So this is the table that Chewie and 3PO were playing, or Chewie and R2 were playing holochess on. So bring this into view. I'll put up a better picture of this. I'll pull one off the internet or something so you can see that. But we're going to put that together, and that's the part that's going to cause me a bit of anxiety throughout this issue. So let's go ahead and before we get going here, let me show you the parts that come in this issue. So we get two more frames. We get this part, and if you can see there, you can kind of see underneath there as I move my finger in and out. So there's 4 holes, and there's going to be some rods that go in there, and that's going to fit on here. And when you put this on, you have to line up those holes. So that's going to be kind of a annoying thing. Now, one of the things when I put this on, you'll see how there's white around the edges of the sticker. What I will do is come back with either a black magic marker or black paint or something, and I'll paint that so it's not white and doesn't stick out that bad. But yeah, so that goes on there. And here's all the screws. And then here's the brackets here, and some more brackets there. Here is the hull plating where the turret goes into. And here we have the Dajeric table with the sticker. Now, I'll get into this a bit later, and this here as well. So, but let's go ahead and get started and see what we're supposed to do on this one. So this one we're going to be putting some hull plating together. Now, if we look here, we have these two pieces, right? And then we have the two pieces from issue 1 that we have to put together. So it's going to look like this. So we're going to have a total of 4 pieces coming across here, and they're going to go together, and it shows you like where those pieces go together and what holds them all together. So um, yeah, so we're going to do that. Oh, also, this issue actually gave us the screwdriver. I had the screwdriver that came in my brother's kit before. I actually have some of my own screwdrivers as well. So the screwdriver's not super important. Kind of nice that they actually give you the screwdriver. So here's our stuff from the previous issue, and we'll pull out what we're going to need for this one. And technically we need this, but I'll get into that, and we'll need this as well. So we'll throw that off to the side, throw the cockpit off to the side, throw the gun turret over here, and let's go ahead and get started. So again, I'll show you. You can kind of see it there where it says TF03. So in this one we have TF03 and TF4. That's 2, and this will be 4. Actually, this one says, oh, this is 3. That's 3. If it'll focus there. There you go, 3, and this one's 4. There you go, 4. So these ones go together, and I think it goes something like this. I'm not sure how this goes together. I think it's going to be like this, or like that. There we go. It's going to go there, and then these ones are going to be like this. So, yeah, like that. So it's actually got you doing them upside down, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. And that just makes it a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have those, and now it's telling us to get these bracket, take a 2-hole. That's these here. And I remember I had, here we go. So be careful with your knives, ladies and gentlemen. So we're just going to take out our knife. And I think I'll do a kind of a special episode, might be the next episode, where maybe I'll wait a little bit, but I'll do a kind of an episode where I just talk about the modeling tools and what have you. It'll probably just be like a special episode or something. Okay, so take the 2-hole and connector and 1 screw, and go ahead and open that up. We'll open this one up while we're at it. There we go. So we have the 2 and the 4, and get those out. We don't need those. The 2 and the 4, and here's all of our screws. So this one we take TF1, one of these, and we're going to put this right in the middle here. Alright, so let's get a screw out, and these screws are super tiny. Super tiny. And there's a reason why so many people that I saw that did these had a problem with the fact that the screwdriver was not magnetic, because these are some tiny screws, and just trying to hold all this in here together is quite the challenge. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to snug them a little bit. I'm not going to tighten them right up. Okay, so position A on the diagram, I guess that's A. And then screw the connector frame, making sure the screw is not misaligned. Cross-threaded, it should go through without resistance, but do not tighten fully. Like I said, I just snugged it. And then we're going to attach a 4-holer, and that's going to actually go on the end here. So, just another screw out. And there we go. So the way I handle non-magnetic 'Cause I just kind of hold it with my finger, and then it's just a matter of, let me make sure that I got this here. Matter of just kind of getting this into position, and we'll just kind of stick stick our screw and everything through there, and just kind of get it lined up. And once you get it started, it probably helps that I spent a lot of years working on electronics, so working on these small things don't bother me too much. Again, just kind of snug that up. And then we're going to take TF2. Let's make sure we got TF2. That's this one. And that's going to attach here. So we'll get ourselves another screw for that. And kind of off center a little bit. Get these brackets out of the way. Come on. There's another screw. And we're just going to plop that screw down through that hole. Let this thing hold it for us. I wonder if there's a right way and a wrong way to put these things on. I don't think so. Just trying to look at both sides. I think they're pretty much the same on either side. And then we just are going to put that on there. Try to get the hole lined up. And just start screwing it in place. Come on. I say don't cross thread it, but this thing was kind of tight just trying to, from the get-go. I feel like it's going in that part okay. Maybe it's not. Well, I want to give it some bit of torque. Okay. And then we got that part there. And we're up over here. We're going to put a screw down in this corner. And anybody that's worked on anything at all before, where you have to put a lot of screws into things, you always know that you never tighten your screws until you get them all started. And I would imagine that holds true pretty well with this as well. So that goes in a lot pretty easy. Just kind of snug that in. Connector joining the frames. You can now do up all 4 screws, but do not over tighten them. So now we can tighten them. Just don't over tighten them. And they're not the toughest screws, so they will kind of strip if you're not careful. And I'm sure that this screwdriver is not the best screwdriver in the world either. All right. Now we're going to take a 4-hole. Let me see. There's 2-hole. Thought I had a total of 3 4-holes. Only put 1 on. Where'd it go? I'm pretty sure I put 4 of my here. Well, we'll figure it out, I guess. Maybe putting them up on top of this thing isn't the best idea. So we take a 4-hole and we put it here on this corner of TF2. That's what we see there. And there's my screws. There we go. Get our screw and driver. And our plate. I think some of these plates are a bit tighter than others. Right. Oh, I see. There we go. All right, so that's on there. And then we put a 2 on here. Get another screw out. Put that through there. That'll go right here in this corner. We'll snug that up a little bit. Make sure it's pointing in the right direction. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we got that. Now we take this one, and I'm assuming it's going to go like that. I would be assuming correctly. Let's get 2 screws out. So we're going to put those 2 together. 1 and 1 and 2. All right. So there we go. Got that started, and then we're gonna put spin that around. Put one right here. So if you haven't figured out what this is going to be the frame, I think, that goes over the little bump out section, like where the loading dock is, the loading ramp. I think this is going to go over that section. If I was going to be a betting man. Because it shows right here, these are the sections we're doing, and I think the loading thing is right there because this here is going to go to the cockpit right there. So that's going to be the entry ramp, what have you. So now that we have these 4, we can tighten them up. We're just going to snug them really. We're not going to really torque them down. There we go. There's those. And take another 4-hole. I knew there was supposed to be another 4-hole. Gotta figure out where it went. Didn't stick to my arm, did it? Didn't stick to this. That there. And put that screw over here. Here it is. Stop looking, I found it. Alright, so that one is going to go at position E. Do not over tighten. Well, see, now it's showing as if it's upside down like this. So as you do them like this initially, but then if we look at this picture here, oh, no, it's just optical illusion. Optical illusion. Okay. So let's just turn this around. This will make more sense. Okay, so take our little screw and our little 4-hole. And that is going to go right on there. Okay. All right. And then take 2, a 2-hole. There we go. And so putting the frame together is pretty methodical. It's almost a relaxing thing. And like I said, I've watched a few people put theirs together and it's they all pretty much said the same thing. It's probably, maybe not the most exciting thing because it's a frame, but it's pretty it's pretty kind of therapeutic, I think would be the good word. Okay, and then turn this like this, and then this goes there, just like that. So we need two more screws. One, two. And as always, we will have, most often, we'll have a bunch of extra screws. And so that's always an interesting thing to have. They give you plenty of screws. So if you do screw up, get it, screw up. Man, I'm very punny tonight. So if you do mess up a screw because it gets cross-threaded or stripped out or whatever, never fear, you've got plenty to choose from. So there we go. We can snug these ones up. There we go. There we go. And here we go. Now, if we, now we have this like that. And finally, you can test fit the hull. So this is from issue 1. And we can test fit this on here. And it's going to go like this. And then you can see these holes here. See those holes there. And then there's these tabs. And they're going to go on those tabs. So, interesting that it shows there's supposed to be a tab there. There's no tab there. Huh. Interesting. I don't know why there's no tab there. But, uh, that's kind of frustrating because now without that tab, I don't have anything to screw it down with. Apparently, I didn't do a very good job of inspecting this after I got it because that was supposed to be one of the things I was inspecting for. But that's the first part, and this would be there's those hexagon pieces there that uh, those little hexagon pieces that are on the ends right there, and then the boarding ramp would be down here. So yeah, we have some frame done, ladies and gentlemen. How exciting is that? Pretty cool. And we have extra screws. All right. Okay, so now to the Djarek table and our center console. Um, let's go ahead and do this part. So I didn't think that the gun turret went on yet, and I was wrong. But it doesn't really matter because nothing's going to get done with this piece for a long, long time. So I will put it in there, but just mind you that this is going to be adjusted, but that way you can see what it looks like. So I wanted to talk about this. I'm going to pull that back out because like I said, I'm going to paint that turret and everything first before I even do any of that stuff. So a lot of people had a problem with this because if you look here in this picture, and this is from the actual Millennium Falcon model itself, right? So if you look here, um, and you see where these uh, braces are on the window, so you can see that those braces line up with um, basically they're straddling the turret like this. So they're straddling the turret like this. And if you look here, if I put this turret back in, that's not the case. So there's actually one smack down the middle. So what a lot of people have done, and what I may do, some reason I think, and I'll have to look in some of the later issues, and that's why I'm not really too terribly worked up about doing anything with this yet. It's going to be a long time before this gets mounted on anything anyway. But what a lot of people do is they take a knife and come around this, and they actually cut cut this off and pull this off, and it's just kind of press glued or whatever in there. They pull this off and they actually turn it a little bit so that way it should sit like this is the way it should sit. So you can see how like these two braces would be straddling the actual turret itself instead of like that. So it should be like this instead of like that. Let me hold this at the right angle. Right, like that instead of like that. So I'll probably do something like that. Potentially they may have sent one that fixes this. It's kind of funny because I know the bottom piece, this part isn't even in. You put it in yourself. So it's like they figured it out later on, but they still shipped the original pieces. They probably had these original ones already made up or something, but they still shipped them like that. So I know enough people have complained about those that um, uh, it's kind of a big deal. So let's go ahead and see if I can't get this sticker on now. Anybody that's a dad out there, you know that um, putting stickers on things is like your main job in life. So now with this one, you can kind of see here, it's actually got a crease in it. So that crease coincides with this sticker here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to force that crease into the sticker a little bit. So that way, because this sticker is kind of a plastic anyway, that way it kind of fits in there a little bit better. And yeah, so let's see if we can do that. And I won't mark this with the marker or whatever now, but I'll show it to you after I do it. Maybe in a future episode or whatever. So hopefully this isn't too terribly difficult to get lined up with these holes. Because lining this up with the holes is the most important part of this. Okay, so you can kind of see, maybe you can kind of see the through the holes there. So I've got at least 3 of them. If I got 3 of them, I should have the 4th. I would like to think, anyway. Um, so hopefully that sticker sticks really well. But I will, like I said, you can see the seams there, and I think that's going to be somewhat noticeable. But I'll come back and mark that, or use black paint or something. Probably just use a marker. Now you can see the same thing here, but I know this gets hidden. I'm just not sure about this. And then this actually gets mounted here, and we're just going to do a temporary mounting. Well, after we get this all done up, then I'll do all the permanent mounting. But there's the first part of our cockpit all together. So there you go. That's pretty cool. And now, without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to do with this Djarek table.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.